Hey guys, Rusty here at Ugly HP. Today we got a 06 Pontiac G6 with a 3.5. Gonna change the transmission filter. So first thing we need to do is make sure we have a pan under the transmission and 8mm, and I'll show you how to drain this thing without making a mess. So let me put you right about here and get my tools. So basically I want to start right here and I'm going to work my way around, just pulling the bolts one at a time. And you'll watch it start to drain. As you get closer to the other side. So now that we got all but 2 bolts out, we're going to raise our pan up closer. Let me see if I can get you guys up here. So we have 2 bolts over here and we got our pan up closer, but we're able to, as you can see, still access those bolts and keep that pan that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to just loosen these 2, but not, we're just breaking them loose basically. So then I'm going to get a screwdriver and just pop it. A lot of times it'll already be draining. This one obviously is going to teach me different. We're just going to help it out a little bit, break the seal. And let all that drain. I'm not putting that much force on this, I'm just helping it a little bit. Alright, so now that we got all that, we're then gonna get our catch pan all the way up in there. If you're working on the ground, you can use 2x4s under your catch. And we'll go ahead and pop these the rest of the way out. Pop this guy all the way. What's killing me is this bracket. Bracket's not normally here. Normally it squeezes around it, so we're gonna pull this bracket off right here. Let me go get my tools real quick. Okay, so I forgot to turn the camera back on after I pulled that bracket, but once you pull that bracket out, your panel drops. So I would say take the bracket off first. I don't normally have them come in with those brackets, so my bad for overlooking that. So now that we got the pan off, I'm going to put it in the parts washer. Get it cleaned up. All you have to do is just make sure you bring this thing up. We're going to take a pry bar and just pop the filter out. And up in here is a seal. You just take a seal puller or a screwdriver and pop it out. We're going to put a new one in there and clean all this up, and then we'll show you where we're at on putting the filter back in. Let me just get the pan cleaned up. Another thing I'll point out before I get to cleaning that pan: if you have a transmission gasket that's got the ribs in it and the pan wasn't leaking, you can reuse these. These are supposed to be forever gaskets. If your pan was leaking like this one because it's almost at 200,000 miles, don't reuse the gasket. Just give the one that's in the box. But if it's not leaking and you're just doing a service because you're smart, just reuse that gasket. You'll have better luck of it not leaking than the one that comes in the box with the filter. Alright guys, so we got our surface area cleaned up, we got our new seal in here, and we got our pan cleaned up. So since we're not using the original pan on there, we're using the gasket that came. What you can use is you can use a, let me grab it here, Permatex. This is better than, well, you definitely don't want to use RTV, but this stuff will you just paint it on there and it kind of like, it just stickies, holds that in place. But now we can go ahead and get our bolts started and rain up in there. Well, first we gotta get the filter in there. Sorry. Just been getting bombarded with phone calls, so all this thing does is just go right up in place. You just tap it right there. The pan holds the rest of it up. What we're going to do is we're just going to get all of our bolts for our pan. Make sure our gasket holes are lined up. And there goes another phone call. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. So we'll just start getting all these bolts started. There we go. Now all these are going to get torqued down. I use an impact. I kind of feel where I feel comfortable them being tight. It says 89 inch-pounds. I try to get a little bit past that because I've had problems in the past of torquing them down, but you don't want to like go super tight because you're inside aluminum threads and they will strip out easy or the bolt will break. But 89 inch-pounds, I've had issues with it, transmission fluid still being able to leak out past it. You definitely do not want to use gasket maker. You'll just run into multiple issues. So what I'm going to do now is run all these bolts up in there. So I definitely want to hold that up there and just snug a couple of them up around here and then just go around. I got my bracket that's got to go back up in here. Which one like that? And then I know this one right here it says on a service fill it's like 6.9 quarts. Anytime you buy a filter kit, I'll show you. And they're a little dirty. On these labels, it always tells you right there how much to put in it on a service. This calls for 6.9 quarts. You always want to double check it after you drive it. You know, you want to check it first after you put those 6.9 in there. But there you have it, transmission filter on a 06 Pontiac G6. Check us out on Facebook, hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, keep wrenching.